role the role of the special ed teacher, I believe, should be the advocate and the voice for not only the child that we're servicing, but we should also be the voice for the parents as well. I think a lot of times there's a disconnect. There can be a disconnect between the parents and the general education, and just in general, if the parents don't understand, a lot of times they can get a little bit uncomfortable with certain things. And I think it's the special education teacher's role and responsibility to kind of mend that bridge, mend that fence, and keep everything smooth and comfortable. I think that we should also be the bridge between general education as well. A lot of times there's a misconception of what our kids should be or what they can do, what their capabilities are. It's our job to communicate and work and collaborate with the general education team as well to kind of set those standards and push our kids to the next level. I know our responsibility is to create an atmosphere that's comfortable for our children. I think that we should also push our children and motivate them to become better students. And once the student is comfortable with the gen ed teacher, once we kind of create that environment where they can work and feel a part of what everyone else is doing, I believe that they'll be comfortable enough to push themselves and challenge themselves to be better students. I'm not too concerned about it. I know there's a big difference between being a special ed assistant and actually being the classroom leader of the actual classroom leader. There's a big difference, but I've had a nice amount of success dealing with the kids, mostly in part because I feel like I'm extremely patient. I take time to be all in on what are some of the issues or some of the concerns with the children, where I'm not just trying to be that iron fist. And I think that goes a long way with the kids. I believe that building relationships and bonding with the students to a certain capacity helps them trust. And once I feel like once the kids trust you and feel like you're genuine, they actually they'll open up more and they'll work harder for you as well. One of the main reasons I feel like I'll be successful is because I just believe that it is us as adults, as the elders, to take our young children in and educate them and pass along information just as it was passed along to us. And I just choose education as my platform to pass along, that information. So I think once being part of being successful to me is just being committed to the job, being all in, being genuine. I think that's the main part, and I feel like I'm a complete genuine guy when it comes to helping our children grow. Personal bias can catapult not just students but staff members and just people in general, can catapult them in the wrong direction. I think anytime you show bias towards any person, or staff member, adult, it can kind of quote unquote turn people off, or just spring them into a different direction that's not healthy for the environment and healthy for pushing the students in the right direction. Um, I think that when you think about bias, I think children are pretty much the first ones. I mean, they watch. As soon as you enter the room, they're watching. If a new teacher enters the room, the first thing they're doing is pretty much sizing them up to see if they're going to like them or not. So I think that bias can lead to low expectations, to not push children sometimes if there's a bias, or it can just kind of just create a bad energy, create a bad environment. Not bias expectations definitely can hinder the environment. I believe that if you come in with a clean slate and set your own expectations. I mean, you'll get paperwork, you'll get other staff members that are pretty much educating you on what a child is and how they behave, and some of those things should be taken into account. And I think that you should take those things into account as more mental notes at how to craft your own relationships and forge your own bonds with those children, basic versus just coming in and using it as a bias towards that child. I think it should all pretty much start from zero. New year, new day, start the clock, start it over, and build your bonds from there.